People who betrayed someone. Why did you do it? They denied me the rank of master. It's much easier to stab someone in the back than the front. Because he treated me like crap for so many years, my brother had an anger issue that took over the whole house. Everyone treaded on eggshells around him, and any action I committed that even slightly slighted him resulted in bruises and tears. After a long time he managed to improve, he got better, and there hadn't been a huge blowout fight for at least 2 years. Our relationship had gotten better, and as I started joining his friend group we got close for the first time in our lives. Then he confided in me on a mistake he made and made me promise not to tell anyone because he knew that he would lose all of his friends if it got out. The secret itself reminded me of nothing but my old brother, and I was overtaken with so much disdain that I acted without thought and told my brother's best friend, which in turn destroyed my brother's social life and all of his relationships. Now he won't look at me the same, and I felt and still sometimes feel so guilty about it that I get nauseous. Yet nothing will ever erase the years of abuse that I endured. I guess my brother and I are cursed by our own actions to never truly have a close brother-sister relationship. Because I was selfish, dumb and a glutton for punishment. Because they almost got me killed. On purpose. Because I didn't trust him and had to protect my friends. I had this friend in college. He was always down to hang out and party and was overall pretty fun. I had a little inner circle of friends that I really trusted, and he was part of it. Then one day my group of friends was drinking a whole lot. At the end of the night everyone was sleeping in various places of a basement. I was on a couch, not fully asleep, but getting there. One of my close girlfriends, and a girl I had a crush on, was sleeping on the floor next to me. The guy I was friends with was also on the floor a bit away from us. Suddenly I saw him crawl over next to the girl. I didn't understand what he was doing, and I was real tired and pretty drunk, so I didn't think much of it. Then I heard him trying to whisper to the girl, who didn't respond. Then he proceeded to start feeling her up as she laid there passed out. This blew my mind. Here was this friend I had previously trusted entirely assaulting my other really close friend. I didn't know what to do, so I kind of rolled over and kicked her. She didn't wake up, but he kind of fell back to the floor and pretended to fall asleep. Then a couple minutes later he got back up. Through my squinted eyes, I saw him kneel over her, and then pull out his dick and started jacking it. That was too much. I sat straight up and turned on my phone for light. He rolled away, and went over to the bathroom and started to throw up. I woke up the girl and told her to get up and go over to the bedroom and lock the door, and I'd talk to her in the morning. She was way too drunk to take all this in. The dude never left the bathroom for the night. Early in the morning my friend had texted me that her underwear was pulled down a bit, and wanted to know what happened. I told her to come out of the room and we'd go talk. I explained what happened through the night. She was disgusted, but chalked it up to the dude being really drunk. I asked her if she wanted me to talk to him, or go with her to tell someone, and she said no and that we should forget about it. Says she doesn't want me to bring it up with him. Except I couldn't just forget it. I couldn't believe that this happened, and between a group I trusted. In the following years, I distanced myself from the guy, though it was hard because we had a lot of mutual friends. He still saw me as a good friend since I never brought up that night. So I had to see him around a lot. Eventually a couple years later I had gone out to the bar with a few friends, and one of the girls got really drunk. We brought her back to one of the other girls' apartment to sleep. The girl who owned the apartment was pretty cool and I was real close with her too. One bad thing, the creepy guy from before had a big crush on her. He had met us at the bar and came back to the apartment with us. Well, drunk girl is leaning against me on the couch, and then proceeds to throw up on herself. I kind of hold her up and grab a bucket for her. When she's done, the girl who owns the apartment came back with new clothes for her to change into. Apartment girl asks me to help change her. They are all nurses in this apartment, so I guess this is normal procedure, and asks the other guys to step out of the room for a minute. Well, while we're changing her, creepy guy keeps trying to make excuses to come in the room. When we finish, we have drunk girl sleeping on the couch. Finally a couple of the guys ask me to drive them back to campus. I say sure, and head out with them. Apartment girl, her roommate, drunk girl, and creepy guy remain. As I leave, I text apartment girl to not leave creepy guy alone with drunk girl because I don't trust him. She says okay. I drop the guys off, head back to the apartment, and crash on a couch fast forward to that weekend. I'm at our college football game with some friends and my GF. Creepy guy shows up. He's texting apartment girl, still trying to get with her, and his phone dies. He asks to see my phone so he can text her something. I say sure. Big mistake. He sees my text history and sees I told her to not leave him alone with drunk girl. He gets mad, and I know why. After the game he asks to go talk with me. We walk out to the parking lot and he gets all mad at me and says I betrayed him for not having his back and talking shite about him. I wanted so bad to bring up the night from a couple years ago, but I don't. We just kind of argue and then go separate ways. We still saw each other through mutual friends for a couple years, but that was a breaking point where he knew I was no longer his friend, and it came off like I was being a betraying douche. I just had no trust in him, and didn't want something bad happening to another friend. It still kills me that I've never been able to confront him about what he did. Too long. Didn't read I witnessed a friend sexually assault another friend. Years later I continued to warn people about him, snubbing his chances with other girls. He found out about it, saw it as betraying him. Broke up what was left of our friendship. My brother named his young brat as the heir to the kingdom. Needless to say I was scarred for life. So I set this huge thing up. It was wild. Because I was 18 and was thinking far too much about life. Also the relationship was much better as a friendship, and we were very sexually incompatible. The extent of cheating that happened was just cuddling though. Although after the breakup we started dating immediately. It went down in flames, and I briefly broke apart a band and destroyed a friend group. The funniest thing about it is that the person I cheated on forgave me long before anyone else did. We even became friends again and hung out. I have never cheated in the slightest since then and never plan to. I was a stupid teenager. Well, that someone betrayed me first. As soon as I had my chance, I decided to betray that person just to be fair. I quit a job I hated and that had horrible hours to take a job that paid a lot more, that was a lot more cushy, and that had normal business hours. Apparently this was a horrific betrayal of my former employer. Because I got the card "You are a solo at BSG" right at the beginning of the game. I had sex with my best friend's pregnant wife. Some time after that he strangled her nearly to death and I got in a fight with him. I left him for dead after cutting off his legs. His wife gave birth to 2 twins and then kinda died. I gave one twin to this wealthy family and just left the other in a shitty desert because I got lazy. I borrowed money from a couple people and then I moved away before I could afford to pay them back. I went back some time later to visit family and ran into both of them. I paid them both back with interest. I still didn't have much money at all, but I would think about it from time to time and I got it off my chest finally. They weren't even upset at all and one of them completely forgot about it. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Dumb and a glutton for punishment. To test my power. They betrayed me first, that's why.